In this video, we're going to learn how to troubleshoot an issue where the pilot lights but the spark igniter continues to spark. And then the control would display either a slow recovery or E-20D error. And then we'll look at a situation where the pilot lights and the sparking stops, but the control displays an E-20D. So we'll start when the pilot's lit and the sparking continues. If the sparking is intermittent at the spark igniter, then the service call you may hear is that the fryer is slow to recover or heats up slowly and then displays an E21 error, since every time the flame sense is lost and the spark igniter sparks, the burner shuts off. So the other service call you could get related to this error is that the fryer displays an E20D, as in Delta, error code. This would happen when sparking continues for 90 seconds with no flame sense. For full vat units, anytime either the left or the right pilot loses flame sense, meaning there's sparking present at either the left or right pilot assembly, then the burners will shut off until the flame sense is restored. Again, if this is intermittent, this will cause slow recovery E21 errors, or if this is constant, then the fryer displays an E20D error. You can always tell on an LOV fryer when the flame sense is lost because the heat light starts to flash rapidly. Each time the heat light flashes rapidly, the main burner shut down. So to make sure you have the best chance of a first-time fix for this issue, take a pilot assembly, interlock relay, and ignition module. If you're working on a full vat, then take along 2 pilot assemblies. Also include a manometer with your tools. First, start by verifying that you have a good quality pilot flame. Your pilot flame should be strong, blue, and showing no yellow in the flame. If the quality of the pilot flame is low, remove and clean the pilot orifice, and then clean around the orifice to make sure the airflow is constant. This ensures that the correct amount of gas and air will mix to create a strong blue pilot flame. So after these checks, if the pilot flame is still weak, then check incoming gas pressure. Incoming pressure directly feeds the pilot flame, so if this is low, then your pilot flame will also be low. If the quality of the pilot flame is good and sparking continues, then take a DC microamp reading between the FC positive and FC negative terminals at the ignition module. You'll need to set your multimeter to this backwards U-looking setting, and then be sure to move your meter leads to the low current connection if your multimeter requires this. When the pilot's lit, if you get a microamp reading less than 0.75 microamps, then replace the pilot assembly. If your reading is greater than 0.75, then replace the ignition module, as the ignition module should stop the spark when flame sense is 0.75 microamps or greater. So if you remember, I said we'd cover another issue where the pilot lights, the sparking stops, but you still get an E20D error. Well, now it's time to look at that scenario. When the pilots are lit and the sparking stops and the control displays an E20D error after about 1 minute and 30 seconds, this would be on a full vat fryer. That could mean that the ignition modules do sense flame, but the control is not detecting the 24 volts AC from the MV terminals at the ignition modules. If you recall from the sequence of operation, there's an interlock relay between the modules and the control. If there's an issue with this relay, then the control won't see the 24 volts AC. You can check this by testing for 24 volts from the MV terminal at both the left and right modules. If this voltage is present, then replace the interlock relay. If this voltage is not present, but there is no sparking, then replace the faulty ignition module. So hopefully these troubleshooting tips help you the next time you have a service call where there is either an E20D or E21.